All right, guys. Next on the list, number 5. This is a pretty bold one, I think. Anyways, I haven't seen anybody else in their predictions, so I don't know what everybody else is thinking yet. Trying my best to get this out as soon as possible. But number 5, 100 Thieves. Yeah, I don't know. I think last year, or last split, I should say, last split was tough for 100 Thieves, right? It's been tough for them, in my opinion, since they lost Medios. I mean, let's be honest. Onda was not a super great jungler. I've seen some things where people try to make the argument for Onda, and I could see it. He's not really that guy that'll lose you the game. But how often is he winning it for you? You know what I mean? He's a pretty passive guy from what I've seen. Direct opposite of what Medios is as a person, right? And Medios is blunt, forward, and is not afraid to tell you how he thinks the game should be played. Whereas Onda, I think, just sits back and listens a lot. On top of that, he obviously was in hindsight, an awful pickup. So that feels bad for 100 Thieves on that. That being said, I'm not sure how I feel about Saligo, who is, as far as anybody knows, Saligo will be the starting mid laner for 100 Thieves. I'm not sure how I feel about him. We'll give him a full split and see what happens. Personally, I think that 100 Thieves should try and pick up DeMonte. But let's get to the real meat of the 100 Thieves story. Is now Onda's gone, or at least maybe moved to Academy. He's off the main LCS team. And 100 Thieves pulled some trickery and got amazing. Okay? So, for those of you who don't know, when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's a good upgrade for 100 Thieves. Like, I've been waiting for them to replace Onda since they got rid of Medios, and I'm glad to actually see them bring Amazing in. I think Amazing's a good jungler. But then I was like, hang on. They have Bang. They have Someday. How are they getting Amazing? He's an EU player, right? And so I looked it up. And so, okay, if you guys remember, back in 2014, Riot changed residency rules. So prior to that, there weren't any residency rules really. Players just kind of got to declare their residency. And so in 2014, they started putting on the requirements of like minimum play time in a certain region before you actually became eligible for residency in that particular region. But when they made those changes, they gave exemptions to players who were playing on teams in, I think specifically the LCS teams, who were playing in that region, right? So anybody who would not have been a resident with their new rules that they came out with, was exempt from actually having to meet that requirement, and was then considered an exempt non-resident, right? Okay. So if you'll remember, also back in 2014, Amazing played for a team by the name of Team Solo Mid in North America. So Amazing is actually an exempt non-resident of North America. So he does not count as an import slot for 100 Thieves. So I would argue that 100 Thieves technically has 3 imports now, with Amazing being in jungle, Someday being in top lane, Bang being in the bot lane. So they pulled a sneaky one on you there, I think. That was some pretty smart maneuvering by 100 Thieves. And I think it's a good move overall. I think that Amazing will be a good jungler for him. I think that last split, the lack of having a playmaker, a strong mid of the map, right, in the jungler and the mid lane duo, it took away a lot of the power that they had in those side lanes. And sure, Afromu didn't have the best split either. Bang was pretty like a non-factor. Someday tried his hardest to carry that team in multiple occasions, and they were too heavy, man. But with that said, I think that that last split was rough. They didn't have power in the center of the map. Hopefully this will give them a little bit more agency in the middle of the map. Hopefully Saligo turns out to be okay. If not, you need to pick up DeMonte. But if he's okay, then maybe they're able to, get something going and actually put together a good split here. I think that I think they will likely make playoffs. I think there's a better chance they make playoffs than they don't. But again, for the purpose of this particular video, I'm going to give them number 5.